Orion, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference. Immediately below there is a diagram showing the constellation Orion. The 3 large black dots at the waist form his belt or girdle. 2 large black dots form his shoulders and still 2 more large dots form his left knee and a buckle on his shoe. Have a look at this constellation and contemplate the fact that there are 88 constellations in the universe, all divided into 8 groups. 8 is the number of control, and once again we see this number in the universe. This number is replicated in the date of the birth of the United States as a country, which was 1776 divided by 2 equals 888. As well as the interstate highway system, highways shown on the previous pages, that surrounds the 4 corners cross states of Arizona, New Mexico, Colorado and Utah, equals 176 divided by 2 equals 88. Orion was a great giant hunter with 2 dogs. The story goes that he hunted the hare, or rabbit. If you look at the diagram of Orion you'll see this rabbit represented by Lepus. When these constellations are placed over the state of California, as shown 2 diagrams lower, the rabbit constellation of Lepus is in the area of Los Angeles. This is the location of the Playboy Empire and the world-famous Playboy bunnies. It is no coincidence that this company moved their offices to Los Angeles, from Chicago, a few years earlier. The symbolic move from Chicago, and the capital of world advertising, to Los Angeles, the capital of the movie and porn industry, would have symbolically followed Route 66 that wins its way from Chicago to Los Angeles. In the next diagram, I'll once again drag the state of California over the constellation of Orion to show the real inspiration for the shape of California. The diagram of the Dome of the Rock is also introduced in this diagram and is placed at the 135-degree angle of California. What is quite remarkable is how the Dome of the Rock also fits into the angle of Orion's shoulder, that extends down to his belt and then down to his shoe buckle, or right knee. This is sun god worship, where even stars are purposely formed as a subliminal suggestion within the Luciferian agenda to keep the masses in a trance. The stars are hypnotic subliminals on a massive scale. Keep in mind that this is just hypnosis. Everything we think of as matter and time and space is an illusion, a complete mind trick. None of this is really here. It is for this reason that Hollywood is the home of the stars of the world, and all the illusory hypnotic dream states that it creates. Hollywood equals holy, woo, death. However, not only movie stars but porn stars. The mythological story goes something like this. It was Orion who loved Merope, but her father delayed the consent to marry and so Orion raped her. Merope's mother Enopion blinded Orion, but an oracle predicted that he would see again if he exposed his eyes to the rays of the morning sun. What this means is the people of Orion, symbolically Californians and the western states population in general, are blind in their wickedness. Again, there is no such thing as sin, so this is all just artistic license on the part of the mythological writer. Because of this wickedness, the rape, the people of California will have their eyes opened to see again if they look to the morning sun. This morning sun is the rising sun, who is Horus, the sun god of Egypt. This base, contemptible, ball, ball, game, so all eyes will be focused on the land of the east, the place of the rising sun. All of us are symbolically grouped in with the state of California. We will all come to see just what a beautiful thing it will be, when we all become one in the new order of the Messianic age. Age equals I equals I. Now have a look at the state of California overlaid on the constellation Orion. The diagram of Orion shows the 3 kings constellation on his belt. I have left them in the same position as shown in the first diagram of Orion above. However, I name them as San Francisco, Sacramento and Lake Tahoe, even though they don't position themselves exactly on the map of California as they would really appear. What is being shown is the equal distance between the stars that coincides with the equal distance between these 3 geographical city locations, as well as the similarity with the direction they point, which is towards the Sirius Dog star, which, in this case, is the location of Hawaii. The final destination of this line of the constellation points to the southern cross, which is the earthly geographical location of the international date line and the equator. The Christmas story told in 3 lines. This is the Christmas story. The 3 kings constellation, 3 wise men, followed, pointed to, the star Sirius, Hawaii, that in turn continued pointing to the southern crux constellation, the equator and international date line, where they found the Savior, the rising sun on the cross on the horizon. Horizon equals Horus, rising, and in turn is the name of Arizona equals A, rise, on. In the story of Orion and Merope mentioned just above, Orion raped Merope. Orion is the giant god, the Lucifer entity. Merope is symbolism for water, the mer, as in mermaid, which is derived from mare, which means sea in Latin. As in Mare Pacificum or peaceful sea. It is in this Pacific Ocean that we find the two hunting dogs of Orion, called Canis Major and Canis Minor. These are the constellations of Sirius, or geographically, the Hawaiian Islands. The devastation from the ocean, Orion and his dogs, are going to rape the bride, symbolized by the western United States. This god becomes impatient and overwhelms her, and she becomes his bride, even his bitch, as suggested subliminally by the dogs in the hunt. Furthermore, this mare is a mare, a female horse. This is the symbolic act of the two horses, the sun god Horus, horse, and the woman of his desire, mare, the mare, becoming one through the sexual rape. Subliminal hypnotic suggestion doesn't have to make sense. It doesn't even have to connect cohesively or logoically. It just has to implant a thought, a simple suggestion. Wham! The damage has been done. California Orion A, the club on the right side of Orion. His left hand is in the position of the 8-sided dome of the rock when overlaid in the 135-degree corner of California. It is this club of Islamic terrorism which has been hammered into our consciousness over and over again. It's not just in the last decade or two that the Luciferian mind has been hammering this thought pattern into us. This has been going on for hundreds of years. Every time there was a war in the Middle East, for hundreds of years, it involved the Muslims against the Jews or against the Christians. They would continually tear down the walls of Jerusalem, then rebuild them, then tear them down, over and over again. This laid the groundwork for the war on terrorism so that when Cheney or Bush or Giuliani mentioned terrorism, the thought of them being Arab Islamic Muslim extremists is the actual subliminal suggestion. Arab people, be they Muslim, Christian or Jew, or whatever, are no more terrorists than any other human being living anywhere on this planet. There are just a very few who are manipulated into their role of appearing as terrorists. Just as every other human being that lives in this three-dimensional hypnotic trance, is tricked into fulfilling the role we play.